Welcome and welcome back for those returning. My name is Deborah Whipke and I am a Renewal Life Coach. Today's video is about any woman out there who is, and I know I say this in most of my videos, but that's what Renewal Life Coach is all about. My channel anyways is assisting other women out there who are trying to make changes in their life, whether they're big or whether they're small. So today's video I'm going to focus on how do you know that it's working? How do you know it's working? Because sometimes the changes that we're trying to make, it's not readily apparent whether it's working or not, especially when it's emotional changes. It's pretty easy if you're trying to make a physical change in your life. You know whether you're losing weight or whether you're not losing weight. But if you're trying to make an emotional change in your life, a spiritual change in your life, it's not always cut and dried as to how that's going along. So, full transparency, I came from full-on victimhood, from a childhood of trauma and neglect and abuse. And so for years and years and years of my life, I was running the program of the victim. For a lot of years of my life, I was running the program of the victim. So a few years ago, I recognized how much I was stuck in the victim mentality. And so I decided that I was going to work on changing that reality. That is a big job because it requires me to know what my beliefs are that keep me stuck in the victim mentality and to then continuously work on them to shift. I have to be constantly vigilant because they're always coming up. They're always coming up. And even when you think that you have processed and resolved everything there is about an issue, boom, it comes right back at you, pops you right in the face, and you're like, where did that come from? Because I thought I had dealt with that a long time ago. But it's back. But that is where the gold is. Because it came back around. Did you deal with it exactly the same way this time as you did the last time, or the time before, the time before, the time before? Did you? That is where the change is happening sometimes without us recognizing the change is happening. So I'm going to use me for an example again. I would be going along feeling like I was doing fairly well at building an empowered version of myself that didn't feel like a victim all the time. And then something would come along, or someone would come along, say something very mean or hurtful to me, or something would happen that I didn't like at all. And boom, I would find myself right back down there in victim mode. So in victim mode, I generally would yell at the universe, yell at higher power, and be like, why me? Why is this happening? What is going on? And I would rant and rave and basically throw a temper tantrum. I'm just gonna say it. Basically throw a temper tantrum, an adult temper tantrum, but still a temper tantrum. And I would be so upset. And generally every night when I go to bed, I say goodnight to my guides, I say goodnight to angels, I say goodnight to my higher power and everything. And always on when I'm stuck in full victim mode, I can't do that because I feel suddenly so alone and disconnected with all of the rest of the universe. And so I like close in on myself and I'll be like, no, I'm not saying goodnight because nobody cares anyways kind of mentality. I know this is very revealing, but it's very true. And so sometimes then, it literally, not even joking, when I first started this process, would be months and months of me feeling that closed in and not communicating with the universe on a daily basis and feeling that profound loneliness within myself and feeling like no one cared, and on this side of the realm or the other side, whatever, no one cared. No one was paying attention. Now, just a few weeks ago, I had a really difficult day at work. And I was driving home. And I was ranting and raving and yelling and screaming again. Nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares. And I get home. And I have 2 kitties. And I park my car in the driveway. And I'm like, I don't want to come in and give them that energy. So I'm going to take a breath. And I'm going to put on a smile. And I'm going to go in and enjoy my fur babies because I love them. So that's what I did. And then I recognized a couple of hours later, I was ready to go to bed. All right, a few hours later, I was ready to go to bed. And I was like, you know what? I had a temper tantrum because things didn't go the way I wanted them to go at work. And I'm going to just own that I had a temper tantrum. And I'm going to say, that's not going to take me back into victim mentality. It's not. So I went to bed that night. I said goodnight to everyone. And that was that. And I got up the next morning and I either journal or I make an audio recording to remind me of these events. And so I made an audio recording, and in the recording I said, holy crap. What once took me months and months to get over now only took a couple of hours to get over. So remember back to why I started this video? How do you know things are changing? That's how you know things are changing. When something comes back around again, we often get knocked off kilter and think, oh my God, it's back around, which means I didn't deal with it before. You did deal with it before. Now it's a newer version of you dealing with it. So own that, accept that, and notice where you are different this time in dealing with it. Did you handle it better this time? Did it not take as long? If you threw a temper tantrum like me, did it not take you nearly as long to recover from the temper tantrum? What happened that was different this time? Because those are the things you want to track. Literally, I'm not even kidding. What once took months and months and months now takes hours for me to recover from. Also, I am willing now and able to accept responsibility for my part in things when before I just literally said, it's the universe's fault. You did this to me. And now I'm willing to look at things and say, well, the crap happens sometimes. And I'm going to accept my responsibility for my part in whatever that was. Maybe it was a small part, but still I'm going to accept responsibility for it. And that's that. I'm not going to blame, because when we're in victim mode, that's one of the biggest things that we do is we have to shove that off. We have to blame others because it makes us feel isolated, yes, but it makes us feel vindicated in our isolation. It makes us feel vindicated in our isolation. And that's not true. It really is not true. We just, in our victim mentality, believe it's true. So how do you know that things are changing, especially if it's an emotional or spiritual changes you're trying to make in your life? That's how you know. Track those small things. Track those small things. I used to get so upset with myself if I dropped things and spilled things and made a mess. I used to get so angry and upset with myself. And you know it happens, when you're walking out the door to go to work or something. You're just getting all dressed up to go to a party and you spill milk all over the place or something. You know it happens at those inopportune times. Now, I literally laugh and say, I'm a dropsy girl. Excuse me. And I can let it go. I literally can laugh and just let it go. Excuse me. So, anyway. Sorry. Track it. Because the changes are happening. They're just not so easily noticed unless you know what you're looking for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope that it helps women out there who are making changes, emotional or spiritual, in their lives, to really start tracking. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe. Excuse me. Hit that like button, and I will see you soon.